Hey, it's Jen. So, who has heard of the case of Sarah Gilson? I guess it's not much of a case. Sadly, it's a murder suicide. You're not supposed to really say those words on YouTube. Um, but this just happened, and the woman was a TikTok influencer, and she was doing the trend of where, I don't know if you've seen it, where people they're doing like they have a chair and they go and they sit in it and then they have like words like printed on the screen. It says me getting ready to do my Netflix documentary about blah blah blah, and usually it's a joke. um like my MBL might say like of when I was on Blossom with Joey Lawrence, or I mean, I don't know, whatever, something like that, where most people's things have not been too terribly serious, or like a toddler sits down and the parent writes above it like me doing the Netflix documentary about the time I pushed my brother off of a bench or whatever, silly things. But this woman, she made a deadly mistake. And what had happened was the day before, maybe it was 2 days before, her husband had been, an allegation had been made, and she was made aware of this. And the allegation was against her husband, Jeremiah Duffy, I believe his name is. And yeah, it's Duffy. And her name's Sarah Gilson. What she did was she made one of these. So she found out from the police that he had allegations of being a PDF file against a 15-year-old, and he was apparently maybe a, the I think he was a basketball coach. And she made that trend, the Netflix documentary trend. She made one, and she sat down and she says, me sitting down to make the Netflix documentary about how I just found out my husband is a pedophile, a pedophile. Well, he had not been seen like immediately after that allegation was made. But then on July 20th, so that was, the allegations were made on June 9th. Well, she made that video, let's see, July 11th. She had gotten a restraining order against him, a protective order against him, that he couldn't come more than 100 feet. And that was on June 10th. But, those are about as good as the paper they're written on if the person's at your front door and the police don't, aren't there outside the door. And sadly, so she made that video on July 11th, and she got over 15 million views. So she did get a lot of clicks. But then on July 23rd, her ex-husband came to her home, and he first shot her and then himself. So yeah, you got to be careful what you put out there and who you're dealing with. And when some people who are criminals, and they might be having things said about them on the internet that might cause them to go back into prison. They might not take too kindly to it. So not, there's some good internet sleuths out there, and they've stayed safe. And there's these amateurs out there that might not realize what they're doing. And she clearly did not calculate the lengths he was going to go to. Maybe, who knows how that was going to end if she hadn't have done that. Very sad. Yeah. So I hope y'all are having a good weekend. And I'm testing out my new microphone. And I feel like I have a shirt on reminiscent of another YouTuber out there. I am going to go for a swim. It is 96 degrees outside and it is 6:18. So I'm going to go take a dip in the pool because it's a good time of day for me. I don't like to go when it's sunny out. I don't want to go out there. I've already had skin cancer. We don't need to do that around two. So I kind of hide inside until it's later in the day. I'm going to go get some exercise. All right. Well, if you wouldn't mind giving me a little thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Make a comment below if you've ever thought how some of these internet sleuths out there, if you're kind of worried about them, because they're putting things out there and it's blowing other people up, And unfortunately, there are people out there that might not take kindly to those things. Not to say real journalists shouldn't do their job, they should. And there's a lot of stories out there. Not everyone could be told. So a lot of times, YouTube sleuths do help with crimes. Sometimes things don't need to be said. Now, I'm not too afraid because the perpetrator in this story is no longer with us. Okay. I hope y'all have a good evening, and I'll try to make more videos. See you later.
Allie, I love you so much. I love you. Allie. She knows something's up. She's mad at me.